Okay, now we're going to look at adding rational numbers, which just means adding numbers that are positive and negative, include decimals and fractions. So when we look at this problem, the first thing that we need to do is convert our decimal into a fraction. 1.2 is the same as 1, and 2. The two parts are in the tenths place, so it's 1 and 2 tenths. So now we have negative 7/8 plus 1 and 2 tenths. At this point, I usually convert my fractions into improper fractions. So 1 and 2 tenths, if 10 pieces make a whole, and I have one whole, in this one there are 10 pieces and 2 other pieces. So 10 plus 2 makes 12 pieces out of 10. So 1 and 2 tenths became 12 tenths, and this is still negative 7/8. Now, in order to be able to add fractions, we need common denominators. The reason when adding fractions you need common denominators is because you need to be dealing with the same size pieces. If I think of this as a cake split up into 8 pieces and the same size cake split up into 10 pieces, right now the pieces in this cake are larger, and so I need to get our pieces to be the same size in order to talk about how much we have, and that's true with all fractions, needing same size pieces to talk about them. So in order to do that, you can always multiply the two denominators together. So in this case, I'm going to multiply 8 by 10 and 10 by 8. The thing to know, though, the only thing you are allowed to multiply by a number without changing its value is a value of 1. So if I'm multiplying it by a denominator of 10, I need to multiply it by a numerator of 10 because 10 tenths is equal to 1 whole. Therefore, I'm just multiplying it by 1. Same over here. If I multiply the denominator by 8, I need to multiply the numerator by 8 because 8/8 is the same as 1 whole. Now that changes my fractions to be negative 70/80, which is equivalent to negative 7/8. And this becomes 80th as well. 10 times 8 is 80. 12 times 8. 8 times 10 is 80, 2 times 8 is 16, so this is 96. And now I'm going to combine them with equal sized pieces because I have common denominators. Both are split into 80 pieces. So 80 pieces still makes a whole. That has not changed. The denominator always tells you how many pieces make a whole. The numerator tells me how many pieces I have. Now, we are dealing with both positive and negative numbers. So when I see a negative number, again, I still think of it as debt. Since I already know my denominator is 80, I'm only going to look at my numerators. So I am $70 in debt, and then I'm adding, so I'm getting a positive, and positive means I'm getting money. So if I was $70 in debt, and I got $96, I would have $26 left over after paying off my debt. So my answer is $26. 26 over 80. Since they're both even, they can be simplified. Just like you have to multiply by a value of 1, the only thing you can divide by is a value of 1. Since both of them are even, they are, grab a different color, they are divisible by 2. So I have to divide both the numerator and denominator by 2 because I'm actually dividing it by 2 over 2, which again is a value of 1. Dividing by 1 does not change the value. 26 divided by 2 is 13. 80 divided by 2 is 40. Because 13 is a prime number, that is all the further it can be reduced. So your answer is 13/40. To check and see if that seems like a reasonable answer, you want to go back and look and say, well, negative 7/8, that's about negative 1. And 1.2, that's about 1. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So my answer needs to be close to 0. Then I look and say, is 13/40 close to 0? Yes, so that seems like a reasonable answer.